Hey.
So, for those of you who are just joining us, I am Jamie Weiland. This is Dr. Colin Kinsales, and we are both from Integrative Health and Wellness. And so, we get to come to you guys every week and talk to you about different subjects. And it's more like a ask the doctor type of thing, right? So, if while you guys are watching, if you have any questions at all, we'd love to hear from you. If you're a little gun shy, don't worry, because I'm not. So you can just send them over to me. I have my phone here. I'll get them if you private message us, and we'll just pick his brain.
Don't pick it too hard.
Right? All right. So tonight's topic is quite interesting. So we actually did a poll online, and it's really about acidity and alkaline. And a lot of people don't even know what this is or that this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
And then some of you out there are like, yes, I absolutely know what this is, but I mean, it is a complicated subject.
It is, yeah. There's a lot involved with it.
So if you guys have any questions, other than the ones I'm asking, please let us know what you think, and let's get started.
All right.
I'm kind of excited about this, truthfully. So, Dr. Colin, what is an alkaline diet? Or let's just start off small. What does it mean to be alkaline or acidic?
So that's obviously dealing with the pH level of your body, and more specifically your blood. And you have different areas of your body that need different pH levels. So, the pH of your stomach should be pretty acidic, but not too acidic, because if it's too acidic, then you get heartburn. But that's produced by a different type of acid, which is a whole other conversation. So you have like stomach acidity, you have the pH level of your small intestine, your blood, your cerebral spinal fluid, which is like the blood of your nervous system. All of the alkaline and acid balances need to be appropriate for each area for specific chemical reactions to occur. So in chemistry, if you take a basic chemistry class, you learn that there has to be a certain amount of acidity or alkalinity, or the pH has to be right for a chemical reaction to develop and occur. And if that doesn't occur in the body, then you're going to end up with some processes that aren't going to be able to manifest, like energy production, detoxification, things like that. So long story short, you need the right pH for the right area to get the job done.
So are there parts of, what you're saying then is that there are things in my body that I want to be acidic.
Yes.
Right? So digestively,
yeah.
Do I want to be acidic or alkaline?
You want your stomach to be the acidity of hydrochloric acid, which is what your stomach acid is.
Okay.
And what happens is with acid reflux is you have your acidity, actually 80% of the patients that we see, the acidity level isn't high enough. So when you have acid reflux, it's usually a lack of acidity. And what happens is whenever you partially break down your foods, which is primarily proteins, those proteins go into the small intestine and they do what's called putrefaction. And what happens during that time is pyruvic acid is developed. And that is more acidic than what the body can handle. And the body tries to get that up, and that's when it blows up through the small intestine, through the stomach, and up into your chest, and sometimes all the way up to your mouth. That's what actually creates acid reflux 80% of the time. 20% of the time it is too much of the right acid production, but it's not as common.
Okay, so then do I want to eat an acidic diet?
So that usually won't affect your stomach acidity levels.
Your food does not?
No, not usually. But
it's like one of the first things food doesn't...
Yeah, but you can change it through, you can do certain things to help it out. So you can actually, if you have acid reflux, I didn't think we'd be talking about this today, but if you have acid reflux, just good quality vinegar can help, which is acidic. But whenever it gets into the digestive tract, it actually alkalizes too, whenever it gets into the small intestine. So that increased acidity in the stomach is actually why, for a lot of people, it helps to reduce the stomach acid production, because you've acidified the stomach back to the degree that it needs to be, and that pyruvic acid isn't produced. And then whenever you have the proper acidity going into the small intestine from the stomach, that allows your pancreas to release enzymes that break down your food properly. So it's really important, digestive wise as well.
But we want to talk about the blood,
Yeah,
right?
more like the whole body acidity. That's really important, because every chemical reaction in the body needs to have a certain pH, like we mentioned, for it to react.
Okay.
So that's going to be extremely important.
Okay. So how do I get that then?
Okay, so a lot of people today are running more of the acidic level, and that's actually due to our diet. Now that we were just talking about the digestive tract acidity, but now we're talking about the blood acidity, which is very important, or pH level. So whenever that gets to be too acidic, you're going to end up with a bunch of problems. And the body will use its resources to alkalize the blood, or to put it in the opposite direction, move it into the opposite direction. And one of the ways in which it does that is it takes and pulls calcium out of the bone and puts it into the blood, because calcium is a buffer and it works to alkalize the blood. So that's actually the cause of osteoporosis and osteopenia in a lot of women, because typically in our American diet, we're eating things that are either sugar or that break down the sugar, which are carbohydrates. And sugar, the process of sugar breakdown, or glucose, which is sugar in the body, into energy releases hydrogen atoms which acidify. So they acidify our body, and then we need to use the calcium out of our bones to balance that out, or else we're going to die because the chemical reactions can occur. So a lot of times too, another symptom of this would be like bone spurs, or when you have arthritis in different areas, you have bone growth development or calcium deposits. What happens there is you have that excess calcium in the bloodstream because your body is acidic, and then whenever you have inflammation in an area, say it's like a wrist, that inflammation, what it does is it increases blood flow, and the calcium becomes, because there's a lot of calcium in the blood, becomes deposited on the bones, and that's how you get like bone spurs and things like that.
Like my brookie, yes.
Yeah. So it's a calcium balance problem.
Okay, so I'm going to ask because I know a lot of viewers hear calcium, so they're immediately we think, okay, so I just need to either take a supplement or drink more milk.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with it. So like whenever you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, usually has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of calcium that you consume. Sometimes it helps because you're putting way more, too much calcium in the body, and then the body will push all that calcium into the bone, but it's not fixing the problem. What you need for calcium to go into the bone is vitamin D and fat.
Good fat.
Good fat, yep. And calcium, of course. So all three of those need to be present together. And so what you want to do is you want to alkalize. You want to bring your body back down to the normal pH level, which is about 7.0 to 7.2. That's like the pH level. And saliva closely mimics the pH of the blood. So one thing that we do here to test, instead of drawing blood, we just check the salivary pH, and it works unless you just ate something or drank something within the past half an hour, or chewed gum or something like that. So we can actually see how acidic your body is or how alkaline it is through cheap little strips.
So it's pretty cool because every technique that you and Dr. Sarah do, it's just so non-invasive. I mean, there's no blood work. Even for allergies and things like that, it's so cool because you guys have all these little tricks up your sleeves to.
And it is neat because in an acidic environment, that's actually in your body. That's actually one of the symptoms of that is allergies.
Really?
Yeah. And the same thing with arthritis, bursitis, and neuritis, so inflammation of the nerves. Those are symptoms that can come about through an acidic environment in the body or blood.
So I see you have some strips here.
I do. I'm going to test you out. I'm going to see if you've been behaving yourself. So
is coffee's acidic, right?
Yeah. So here, before we do it, here's see if we can get that on there. So these are the strips that we use at the clinic. Sorry, there we go. So you can see how there are different numbers on there, and hopefully they're not reversed. But you want to be around this color, which is in the greenish blue. The more yellow you are, the more acidic, and the more blue, the more alkaline. Now, too much alkalinity is just as bad as too much acidity, right? So
I hate this balance thing, I gotta say.
So here we go.
So can anybody get these?
Anybody can, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, here, grab at the base and then get a bunch of spit on there.
Oh, like.
Yeah, put it in your mouth, get a bunch of spit on there.
Okay.
Good. Take it out.
Uh-oh, I ate it.
Did you eat it? So we're gonna measure. You're gonna hold that one. All right. So
why? You don't want to hold it?
So we have it's about 6.8. So you're a little bit on the acidic side, and like we said, the salivary pH closely mimics the blood pH. So now, like I mentioned, whenever you get a higher carbohydrate or sugar diet, that's one of the things that affects the pH level of the blood. One thing that you can do, and one of the best things that you can do, is actually increase the amount of good quality fat in a diet. Because whenever you eat fat, the breakdown of fat into what are called ketone bodies releases oxygen, which alkalizes the body. And fat is also needed to put the calcium into the bone, right? So those two kind of go together. So if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you want to consume a higher fat diet because that's going to alkalize your body and put the calcium where it needs to be. The same thing if you have neuritis, bursitis, or anything else that can be related to an acid alkaline balance issue.
So
allergies.
In you saying that, then I know right now the big diet trend is a ketogenic diet.
I completely agree with it.
You do?
Yeah, but you need to phase in and out of what's called a ketogenic state, which is a whole other topic. You should eat fats and maybe even do some short or intermittent fasting, and then switch yourself out of that after 3 to 4 weeks, and maybe consume a little bit more carbohydrate in the form of root vegetables, and it snaps you out of ketogenic state, and then you go back into the ketogenic state. So you have to balance it all out. It's not just all one thing.
Okay, and then so we do hear a lot of, the only thing that I've ever heard about like an acidic environment has been cancer.
Yes, cancer thrives in an acidic environment. And again, cancer feeds off of sugar only. It cannot feed off of fat. Your cells can use fat or sugar as energy. Cancer cells can only use sugar as energy. So whenever you don't consume sugar, you're not increasing the acidity levels of your blood, and you're not feeding cancer. And all of us have cancer cells within us in any period of time. It's just your body's ability to keep them at bay, and to utilize its own mechanisms to handle it. But if you increase the potential for cancer to develop, that's what's going to happen. So that would be eating sugar and having a higher acidity level. Now, whenever you consume fat, you're not feeding cancer, and you're also alkalizing your body. So that in cancer, an oxygen has actually, which is produced from the breakdown of fat in the ketone bodies. Remember, the oxygen's released. That's actually been shown to damage the cell walls of cancer cells. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good way to kind of maintain a healthy body is the ketogenic diet.
And then I know, like, a lot of times we hear about water filters, and there's actually water filters that you can buy where it will give you an amount of acid that you want in your water.
Or like an alkaline water.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember seeing a video on social media about that too. You know, a lady was just doing these dropper tests with all the water, and this one's good because it's more alkaline, this one's bad because it's more acidic. I don't believe that at all. When you consume water, you want it to be spring water if you can get it. You don't want it to be reverse osmosis or distilled because it's essentially like a vacuum. It doesn't have any of the minerals that are supposed to be in it, and it'll absorb the minerals from your body because you want osmolarity there. in the body.
So wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So if I get distilled water,
Yeah.
that's actually taking chemicals from my body.
It's taking minerals from your body that should be in that water. It's acting like a vacuum.
Okay.
So if you consume distilled water, you want to add good minerals back into it. One of the best and easiest ways is actually to put some good quality salt, and it won't do all of it, but it'll get most of them back in. Restores the electrolytes of the water and in your body, but like a Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, and put a pinch of that per 8 ounces of water, and that kind of restores things. But spring water is always best. Don't be too concerned with the alkaline or acid balance of the water itself. If it's coming in its most natural source, from its most natural source, it should be balanced. Whenever you consume something that's been altered to be more acidic or more alkaline than it should be, you're then using it as a medication, which can help for severe problems. But ultimately you want the body to balance that out itself naturally. And the two primary organ systems that balance the pH level of the blood naturally are your lungs and your kidneys. So if those aren't functioning properly, you could be more acidic or more alkaline than you should be, even when you're consuming the right amount of foods, good quality fats, and not so much carbohydrate and protein.
Wow. This I thought was amazing, and I see you, Natalie. Hi.
Hi, Natalie.
So it's so funny because I actually bought a bottle of distilled water. Like we were out, I wanted water to drink, and I could not understand why the bottle said added minerals.
That's why.
And I was like, why do you need to add
Minerals to that? Yeah, because it's a dead water. It doesn't have water's a living thing.
And you use, like here, we have a filter here.
Yeah, we use the Berkey water filters, and that takes out all the bad stuff but leaves in the good minerals, and it's a high quality carbon filter, which I really like.
He is so particular about anything that's in the office, which is such a good thing. But even, with the products and the different supplements that you guys use, he's very meticulous about what he'll allow in here. So if you guys come into the office and you see something here, after a while, and I tell patients this all the time, is, when you first start coming here, you and Dr. Sarah are so untraditional in some things that it's amazing and wonderful, but sometimes it's a little hard to wrap our heads around, right? Because we've been so trained to think a different way. And so it's just so cool to see you bring things, just normal things come back that wished I would have thought to question the minerals or, just little things like that it's like total mind blown on that. So we have a question. How about buying jugs of pH water? Sorry.
So that's a question that we had answered. I wouldn't buy the pH water. If you're going to buy water, I would actually, Fiji seems to be the one that tests the best for the most amount of people that we've seen. So that's the one that I would recommend. If you need to use bottled water, again, that's going to be in plastic, so you're getting the plasticizers, which mimic estrogen in the body, which is a whole other story. A good quality water filter is the way to go, and I like Berkey.
I have to say, so out of this conversation, it's been 3 times now that you've said that's for another conversation. So I think we have our next 3 go lives for you guys. All right. So our time is up with you guys. Thank you so very much for taking time to spend with us. I want to let you know that when I'm here with one of the doctors, the other doctor is actually out front right here in our foyer. And right now, Dr. Sarah is teaching a class that's open for absolutely everybody. It's a free class. It teaches you what these guys do, how they do it, and scientifically why it works, so that you are more comfortable coming in to the office. And then it's really nice too, because above and beyond that, you guys get a huge discount for your first initial exam and consult, which I think is just absolutely incredible, because I don't think you're expensive to begin with. So to offer another discount.
And the reports, you get to find out what's going on and why.
At the fun one.
And that's included, in that fee. So
I call the second appointment here the fun appointment, because that's when you get to find out what they think is going on and if they think they can help you and how. And it's just really nice, because you guys are both just really particular about who you can help and how. So it's really nice to be a part of this group. So if you guys are interested in our class up front any Wednesday, just give us a call, 724-205-6260. I'm always afraid of screwing that up because we're live, right? And well, I would love to hear from you. So I'll be the one you'd be calling, and we hope you guys will join us next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
I can't reach.